Where I am now, better than before, through those open doors. Where I am now, where I am now, I'm in a special place, a tender warm embrace. Where I am now.
It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now.
I am now.
And if you'd like to see us live in WGPL 1350 studio or WPCE 1400 studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page or Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton's Facebook page. And guess what? You can see us live right here in WPCE 1400 studio.
Sometime through this journey.
And if you want to hear us all over the globe, all you have to do is go to www.christianbroadcastingcompany.com or 1400 AM or 1350 AM. And guess what? You can hear us all over the world. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning. Mr. E, is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
Peace, 95.3 FM and WPCE 1400 AM.
All right, let's welcome our Facebook Live folk. They're on and popping. Let's
Good
welcome
morning.
Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and who else? That's it, Mr. E. Make sure you like.
Yeah.
Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe. We promise we'll shout you out later on in the show.
You'll get a shout out.
Yes, Mr. E, what day is it today?
Today is Fun Friday.
It's Fun Friday.
Yeah.
It's the weekend. I know you all feel good, especially those that don't have to go to work. They can sit back, chill, do whatever you want to do, and have a good time.
You know, this is a 4-day weekend for some.
Absolutely. We're
Because
coming up on
Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday.
Oh.
So some folks have a 4-day weekend to take off.
What a wonderful birthday to celebrate.
That's right. You know, Miss Hinton and I got a little funny for you.
Let's do
Since
it.
it's Fun Friday,
Yes.
why does a squirrel, once he gets across the street, he stops and throws his hands up in the air?
I don't know. Tell us.
And the reason why the squirrel, once he crossed the street after ducking all the many cars, he throws his hands up in the air and give God glory and honor because he made it to the other side.
Well, I'm glad he did that. I ain't never seen a squirrel. I had never seen one, but if you say that, it's so misleading. That's good. But what's this thing about animals? I don't notice all your jokes are animal jokes.
Well, here's an old one. What did the big firecracker say to the little firecracker?
I don't know. What did they say?
My pop bigger than you.
Now that's old. You putting a time on yourself, That's an old school joke.
You know, that's a joke that, you know, it's hard for somebody to understand. You know, just a jokey joke. I'm going back to comedian school, so.
Okay, well, that's going to be good. In the meantime, we're going to get serious because we have the current job list.
That's right. We got the current job listings. And if you need a job, make sure you get your pen and piece of paper, write quickly. And when you get your pen and piece of paper, remember that Federal Express is hiring, United Postal Service is hiring, Lowe's and Home Depot is hiring. And for those who figure that because you was incarcerated that you can't get a job, you can get a job.
Absolutely. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Here's the jobs ready. Get your pencil. Western Tidewater Free Clinic looking for an executive director. Virginia Stage Company looking for development and associate.
Virginia Museum of Contemporary Art assistant. They need a director of development. The Children's Center. They need a site supervisor. The Children's Center again needs speech language pathologist, and they need a pre-K teacher.
The what is that? Coastal of Virginia.
Yes.
They need a doctor of Drew and marketing. And the Children's Harbor looking for a lead teacher and associate teacher.
All right, Virginia Symphony Orchestra, they need a database manager. The Girl Scout Council of Colonial Coast, they need a summer camp staff. They need an outdoor manager as well.
Virginia Beach CASA looking for volunteers and coordinator. And Bay Agents are looking for facility assistant.
Okay, they're also looking for a community action program manager. And
the Civic League.
Go ahead.
The Civic Leadership Institute looking for president and CEO of a job summary.
Here's Bay Agent again. They need a deputy CFO.
Bay Agent need a lot.
I know. Elizabeth River Project restoration specialist.
The Hampton Roads looking for a POC victim advocate. They're also looking for a marketing and communication coordinator, road director of human resources, a road director of development, council, a clinic manager, and a residential assistant.
Absolutely. Tidewater Arts Outreach, they need a program manager. So many jobs available. Please go to our page, FY Radio Show, hosted by Yolanda Hinton. You can go to Mr. E. Edward Everett's personal page, my personal page, LinkedIn, it's there. Get this listing and share with your friends, co-workers, anybody that need a job.
That's right. This is 2023. And if you know that you need a job, don't be ashamed. Go ahead and get that job. Don't forget Lowe's. Don't forget Home Depot. Don't forget Super Kmart. Don't forget Walmart. These are stores that got programs set aside for those who have been incarcerated that's looking for a job.
Absolutely. We have Everette Nehemiah James on. Good morning. How are you doing? Make sure you all like and subscribe. Make sure you share. Make sure you comment, and we'll shout you out later on in the show. Mr. E, we have some updates. You know, on Wednesday, we talked about the current events, breaking news, and what's going on, especially here in the Hampton Roads area. We talked about the story of the 6-year-old shooting his teacher in Newport News. They have a few updates. I wonder if you would share them with our listeners and viewers.
And here's some of the updates, Ms. Hinton, that the 6-year-old boy, the 6-year-old had a backpack, was searched before the shooting, school officials says. New details are revealing more about the hours leading up to the shooting of Richneck Elementary School in Newport News. A 6-year-old boy is accused of initially shooting his first grade teacher. 25 was taken to the hospital with serious injury, but her conditions is reported to be having improved. Thursday night, school officials invited family and to a virtual town hall to discuss safety measures of the elementary school going forward. And during that meeting, they unrevealed new details about Friday incident. Superintendent Parker said the boy accused of shooting arrived to school late that morning and that his backpack was searched after someone reported that he may have a weapon. The person who searched the child bag did not find a weapon. Hours later, the teacher has been shot. The school division did not say who searched the backpack, but the backpack was searched and nobody found the gun.
Well, Mr. E, it seemed like the more the story unfolds, the more questions you have. You know, it's like, okay, a child is searched, backpack searched, No gun.
Yeah,
They couldn't find a gun. Now, this is the thing. They heard.
that's right.
Where did they hear this from? I'm wondering. Where did they hear that there was a gun in the school? And then the child comes late. This is what's been reported. And he's searched and no gun. And then you have this incident. You know, the more, like I said, the story unfolds, the more things you want to know. How, when, and why. And these are questions that people want answers to. We want answers to. I know they had the town hall last night, and I'm just wondering how parents and school teachers went away. How did they feel? And you know, this new information, how does this make the story, how does this work? How does the story continue to play out?
You know, Ms. Hinton, the more I listen to it, like you said, the more I hear about what's happening with this incident, you know, and why the person who searched the bag and who tipped off, you know, why wasn't it brought out to the forefront? Why did somebody didn't tell folk that they was being tipped off? That could have prevented that teacher from going through anything or being shot. If someone had only shouted out, "Hey, look, let's shut the school down." Let's, you know, what is the procedure? What is the procedure that they should have taken before, you know, when they found out that he might be packing?
What about the information that something was broke when
the doorbell? They said the doorbell. Once they came into the school, the doorbell was broken. So, you know, you couldn't get in, you know, you couldn't ring the doorbell. And plus the child came late. A 6-year-old boy came late to school. Well, I just don't understand. The first grader came late to school. Where was the mama?
I tell you what, we're going to find out, I guess, as things unfold. But we want to know your opinion. We're going to open the phone lines. But our topic today, of course, this is what's in your closet, issues concerning our women. And moms, we would love for you all and ladies to chime in. We're going to talk about discipline. And, you know, old school versus new school. This is Fun Friday. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We know we're dealing with a hot topic here, but I'm saying we're going to just put a different spin on it and talk about discipline, you know, and how what we're doing in this day and time as opposed to back in the day.
That's right.
Mr. E, what was your childhood like? How were you disciplined?
Let me tell you about my childhood. Clarence Everette did not play. You know, you got either the whip, switches, you got the belt, you got it. They did not. It wasn't. You talking about child abuse back in the day? That was child abuse. Flip flop, bolo bet, you name it. Name it.
People say iron cords and you know, that to me, I mean, just to think of it it sounds abusive, you know, but I'm wondering how people feel about how they were raised. Did your parents use corporal punishment? Were you hit with switches and iron cords and, you know, as opposed to now, time out, put in the corner, little punishment and stuff like that. Tell us, you all, especially those that are in the chat, or if you want to call up, Mr. E's going to give you the number. What was it like growing up for you as far as punishment and corporal punishment and whippings and things like that?
You know, this day and time, is, you know, they need to have the old school in here.
And then listen, let me mention this real quick. And our Black parents, you know, I don't know about the other races. I don't know what it's like in the other houses, but I know Black parents was like, they did not play. It was, I'm telling you, it was just like being in the war.
The telephone number to dial is 624-9723. That's the telephone number to dial, 757-624-9723. Well, what was your childhood punishment like? You know, I remember time I had to go out and get me a switch. I had to go get a switch. Don't come back with a little teeny switch, you know, because they already got one behind the chair. But, you know, you got to come in with a switch. 757-624-9723. That's the telephone number to dial. Let us know what your childhood was like.
I want to shout out Roberta Carter first. Juanita Fletcher, how are you? God bless you all. You all chime in. Let us know how things went in your household. I know in mine. Woo!
Did you get a whipping?
Oh my goodness. Like you said, you had to go get your switch. You had to go get the switch, and the mom didn't. She had to approve of the switch. We want to say good morning to our caller. And we'd like you to turn down your feed.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing
Wonderful.
fine. How are you?
I'm fine. I was actually sitting here listening and decided to call in because this is one of the most touchy subjects lately, and things have changed so much. I definitely agree with y'all. I used to have to go get my switch, and don't you bring me nothing simple, and you still lost the TV or whatever else might come along with it, but it was no game played. Feel like if you even yell at your child, you're being abusive.
Absolutely. That's what they're saying now. They're saying now, but
it's scary though because that's why some of these children is just doing whatever they want to.
It is amazing. But I tell you, back in the day, it was no holds barred, especially black parents. Black parents used anything they could. But was it right? Do you think?
I'm not saying it was right, but it got us in line a little bit because my grandma threw a flip-flop around the quick.
You got a flip-flop too? Yeah.
But listen, let me ask you, did parents come to school and they jacked you up? Now, I've seen plenty of them, and when I was teaching in Newport News, parents would come in and it would be on.
Let me tell you, honestly, I learned that lesson personally. When I was coming up, my mama has come up to the school with rollers and flip-flops and stood up in the middle of the cafeteria and was like, you ain't got no boyfriends, no books and no boyfriends. They snatched me up and everything. Yeah. I went to the school, and I'm not going to call what school it was, and my child actually snatched me up at the school.
Oh, my.
And then when I snatched him back up, I was disciplined in front of my child.
Oh my God. I tell you what,
Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much for calling. We're opening up the phone line. Let's talk about discipline. Edwina say, oh, my parents didn't play. They didn't play. They used anything. But did it help us? Did it work for us? Is it a more gentle touch now? Or kids worse now than we were? Or, it was a time when, parents disciplined you. You had neighbors that could discipline you. We kept people, kids would kind of check, they had to, and so we want to know from you all and thank you so much, caller. We want to know from you all, those in the chat, tell us how you felt about, corporal punishment and how parents dealt with you, them coming up to school and jacking you up. She said she was jacked up by her own child. Good morning. All right, Miss Eve. All right, good morning.
Good morning. How you all doing today?
Fine, and you. Tell us about your experience.
Hey, this is Rita. I'm going to tell you something. My parents did not play, okay?
Yes.
They didn't play. My mama said go get a switch off the tree. I went to get a switch off the tree. Was we scared? Heck yeah. Because we wanted to pick the smallest tree switch we could pick, right?
Yeah.
And you come back. What we gonna do with that? You had to go out and find another switch. My daddy didn't play with the belt. One belt he was young. He was walking around one hand, and he would use just a little part of it and wrap that hand. My father only did it with the hand. He said, hold your hand out. And he said you had to use that same hand until he got tired of wrapping that hand.
Edwina, you said belt as opposed to switch, honey. I don't know if I would want either one, but I tell you what, the belt is something I couldn't favor the belt at all. That was a mess.
Edwina got a switch in the belt.
My mom didn't play. She was 4'11", and talking about dealing with 7 head of children. She went through the house now. She went through that house. But thank you, Edwina. Thank you so much. You all call us.
624-9723. That's the telephone number to dial. Did they play with you? Was that corporal punishment? Was that child abuse back in the days of old? Do you wish that they would bring it back?
Mr. E, I got to ask the question. Did you ever get the evil eye? That was a form of eye. Mom, especially y'all go to church or whatever. We went to church and we sat up there, and if we would cut up, we would get the evil eye. That was worse than punishment, if you ask me.
When I go to church and when my parents tell you no, they means no. They don't play. My dad would shout past us and tear us up. He would shout, get his step in and whip you while he
Did you
was
say
shouting.
shout? Oh
Shout,
my God,
shout,
that is too much.
and whip you out while you were shouting. 757-624-9723. That's the telephone number to dial. All you have to do is pick up the telephone and give us a call. Is that corporal punishment back in the days of old? And what do you think about now? Should they bring it back?
Bring it back if you want to. These kids can call now. It's a whole
Child
different
Protective
world.
Service, I'll call them. My dad and mama used to say, I'm going to give you something to call them for. I'm going to say, if you call them in my house, you going down. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning.
Turn on your feed, please. Turn down your radio. All right, go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Dr. Fletcher. How you doing?
Doing fine, and you?
I'm good.
How you feel about the subject?
Question.
Uh-huh.
Did you get it?
Oh yeah.
How do you how did you get disciplined, and how do you discipline your children?
Well, when I was growing up, extension cord was just the norm. And or even with the switches, they used to peel off the skin.
Oh my God.
So you make sure you get a good thing. But when I went with my kids, I pulled out the extension cord and I said, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But it really was child abuse. I understand a lot of theirs. Well, I think a lot of it came from exhaustion, dealing with kids, having to deal with a lot of kids and trying to keep everybody in line. And a lot of it had to do with wanting to keep your kids safe because, you knew what happened to a black child.
Yes.
So
yes,
you want to keep them safe.
Absolutely.
And when my kids came around, it wasn't quite, I can't say it wasn't as dangerous, but we lived in environments where we didn't have the fear as much.
Yeah.
A lot of things, I didn't even tell my kids that whole thing of when you go in the store, don't you touch nothing, don't you look. I didn't even do that because I knew they would be followed. When I was growing up, we knew we'd be followed.
Yes.
I didn't give my kids that whole spiel when they were coming up. And so I didn't do that one. And with my grandkids, my daughter is way less disciplined. And I'll be watching them kids fall out on the floor acting a fool, and I'll be like, because I know now that part, we was from behind on that, so they different.
Yes.
Even, each generation is getting way lighter.
Absolutely.
But I don't think that these kids can handle what we went through.
Yeah, this generation.
The littlest thing. So I really don't think that they can handle the kind of behind whoopings we went through.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for calling. I want to know from you all, what do you think about discipline and the law? Now, like I said, you do a child a certain way or discipline them in a certain way, and the law can come and get into your business. We had a well-known pastor, and I'm not calling any names, you all probably know, and he went to whipping his child, and I tell you what, the police came and arrested him. What do you all think about that? If you discipline your child and the police comes or is called, what do you feel about that?
624-9723. My daddy used to tell us that if the police come, he's gonna tell the police, take you with him. Don't leave him here in his house. Take him. He said, now he's supposed to go to bed at 8:30. Now you take him home with you, and I expect him to go to bed at 8:30.
Absolutely.
So if the police came, he had trouble.
What's the number, Mr. E?
757-624-9723. That's the telephone number that you can dial. The lines are available.
Absolutely. Edwina Wilson said it definitely gave us something to think about in our before actions of the consequence behind it.
Ms. Hinton, not only did your parents was whip you, but your neighbors could whip you too.
Oh my goodness, in a minute.
Your neighbors had the authority to know that you did something wrong, and your neighbors can tell. But now they're not even checking the neighbors.
Edwina said we learned because my mother would come to the school when I was in elementary. I was called the class clown in 5th grade. Teacher called my mother one morning, and she came straight to the school. I never acted up in that way again.
757-624-9723. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, God bless you.
God bless you. Make sure you turn your device down. And what do you feel about the subject?
Okay, I feel that that's the brother that's added today. The parents don't fit me so good. So I feel that you should be able to understand and then go back to what I want to juvenile and let them take the hurt people.
So you think it's a good idea to make sure they get that raw?
That's right.
Say, put it on them.
Yeah, because I said,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What's the number, Miss Steve?
624-9723. She said, put that rod on them. Put it on them. Put it on them.
You know, parents still believe. And look, if you're Caucasian, if you like to call and tell us about your experience, because I'm not sure how things worked out in the Caucasian home. You know, we used to hear a lot of now Johnny and Susie, but honey, behind closed door, I'm not sure what they got.
Do you think it's real good to put your child in the corner and, you know, say time in,
time out? You know, that's the thing now, time out and all that, and count to 10 and whatnot.
And don't you know, children have a very good minds and how they can be entrepreneurs right there inside of the corner, looking at playing with the lit balls, creating everything right there ready to sell to you. 624-9723, that's the telephone number. We have time for one more caller. Do you think that back in the days of old, the discipline that was, is it good or was it bad in those days, and your neighbor can discipline you and you had to get that switch?
And how far can you go now? You know, can you whip your child with a belt? How can you better not throw irons and extension cords. They better not find out that you're doing those things, because here come the law. How do you all feel about that? I mean, that's something to think about. How far can parents go now with their children? The law, find out the child's rights. Children have rights now.
And not only that, you cannot get in your mama's, daddy, or grown folks' conversation. Now you got children sitting right there talking on the same level in the grown folk conversation. You couldn't be around two grown folk talking.
I have seen children go toe to toe with their parents, honey. It is something to behold. And, you know, it's nothing wrong with letting a child speak out or, you know, have a voice. But, honey, some of them can really embarrass parents, and some of them know their rights. They feel like, you know, hey, you don't have no business hitting me. Like I said, is a well-known minister that has, you know, gone to jail because he whipped his child, disciplined his child.
757-624-9723. That's the telephone number for you to dial in. 757-624-9723. Is back in the days of old. Discipline need to be back into this day now. Do they need to go ahead and get the bolo bat? Do they need to get the ruler? Do they need to, teachers need to whip you in the palm of your hand? Or what are you thinking, Miss Hinton?
Well, I tell you what, my mother didn't hold back.
I had all of that.
Now, my father did not do a lot of whipping, but my mother, that 4'11" young lady was on the warpath. You did not do a whole lot of cutting up. You did not.
Clarence Everett didn't play. You act up in school, Clarence Everett would act up with you. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, let us know how you feel.
I feel blessed. Well, I'll tell you this, I was raised in the 50s. And we did to go out there and get our best, but it gave us respect for our parents and gave us respect for the elders. When they took the beating from us beating our children, they took over our kids from us. Some of us. Yes. Some of us still beating, because I still beat mine.
Do you feel like it was with
and
love?
I still beat my grandchildren, so they know that I ain't kept. But to let them respect me, and you're going to respect the elders around you.
That's right.
And that's what they talk about when they stop letting the parents have control of their own kids.
Yes.
And then they started having control of our kids, and then our kids could do whatever they said they could do, but what they couldn't, they wouldn't let them do. And it's because of their law. Yes. But it wasn't God's law.
Absolutely.
They let the children spoil the rod, spoil the child.
Absolutely.
Put the beating back in. Some people need to, beat the kids accordingly, but not kill them. but let them know that this is because I love you and I don't want you to get in trouble, go out and be killed or kill somebody.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It is a being of love and respect.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to go over here to social media for a little while. Join us there. But I tell you, it's a touchy subject. But anyway, you all know what you have to do and do what you do in love. God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 right here on WPCE 1400, WGPL 1350, and Peace 95.3. And don't forget to have a wonderful, wonderful Martin Luther King Day.
Started out with a smile on my face. So
Yes, we will see you all on Monday.
And W237 FM.
Portsmouth,
A CBC broadcasting
Absolutely.
station.
We're going to see you all back here on Monday. In the meantime, this subject right here is amazing. And, we do have to check out our, our skills and our, how we discipline our children. Sometimes you can go too far. Sometimes, Mr. E, sometimes, but then sometimes you have to handle your children. You know them well. If you're doing it in love and teaching lessons and also training them, telling them what it takes to do better. Don't leave that part of it out. You're just going to be whipping and whipping and whipping and not telling them, teaching them about consequences and right and wrong and moral codes, just leaving them to their own mind and to their own devices. And then you wonder, hey, why is this child out of control? You've got to teach these children along with discipline, whether you put them in the corner, whether you give them a time out, whether you get that little belt or that switch or whatever, that bolo bat, just make sure you don't harm them. Don't hurt them, don't break their bones, don't tear them up.
That's right.
But make sure, everything is done well. Let it be a well-rounded way of disciplining your children.
What do you think about when the parents tell you this is going to hurt you more than it hurt me?
Well, it may. Some people don't want to. I didn't want to whip my children. I'm telling you, they used to laugh at me because I did not really handle them harsh, with a harsh hand. I just couldn't. My mother, like I said, she had a harsh hand and she would whip, and she won't playing now. She just wanted to keep everything in control. I think some of her choices, she had to do something because after my father died, she was the sole parent in the household. And it was 7 of us, and she was a little thing. Everybody else was way taller, and she had to keep us in control. It wasn't all the time, but it was enough where it like, dang on it, baby. You got to, dang on it, baby. You got to use that.
Look, my dad and them used to wait until it's bathtub time.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
No.
Now, here's what's happened to us when I was a kid growing up.
Uh-huh.
Here's what happened when I was a kid growing up. We would have to take a shower together. The boys would get in the shower with each other, in the bathtub with each other. And the girls, my daddy will wait just as good as you got in the bathtub.
Uh-huh.
And he would put some on you.
But Mr. E, what about what age do you think a child should stop getting, whippings?
Miss Hinton.
Or, does it go all the way to 18?
You asked Isaiah.
Uh-huh.
Because I took him all the way to 18.
No, you did.
Oh, yes, I
Mr.
did.
E, that's 18 is
I took him all the way to 18 when he got in high school. And if he cut up then, I was out there.
So when you say you had to keep him in check, in line, because he was doing.
He was being a clown.
Oh, Isaiah, forgive us for talking about
my son was a great boy,
Yes.
But he wants to be like the rest of the boys.
Okay.
All children, we want to be like other children.
Yes.
So I want to be like other children. So my dad used to know that I'm in trouble. He knew it. My daddy knew that he get the belt, get the switch. My dad whipped me so
Oh
bad,
my goodness.
and he put the switch
Yeah.
in the stove
Uh-uh.
and heated it
Are
up.
you serious? What was the point of that though?
Either he gonna whip you, it's to mind you that you got that you
And
get
did
whipped.
they get whippings like that?
My daddy told us that when he was growing up, he's a country boy.
Yes.
His daddy whipped him so bad
Oh my
with the mule
I
rope,
just-
with the rope from around the mule, that he took the rope, that same rope that his daddy whipped him with, tied it around the house. Because back in the country, you could see from the front to the back. He said he took that same rope, tied it around the front logs of the house, put it around his neck, and took off running.
All right.
He
now,
said his
Mr. E,
intention
that's
was
terrible.
to pull the house down on his daddy.
Woo.
His daddy sat back on the porch, on the front porch, and said, "Look at that fool."
I tell you, it was no joke. I don't know about this day and time. Like I said, now when you overdo it or you do cross the line, here come the law. The law is saying the children have rights and they shouldn't be beat and whipped with all kind of things and iron cords. And I think that's true. I think you shouldn't be whipping no child with no iron. What kind of mess is that?
The first thing these parents got their hands on, that was the ball game.
That was the ball game.
That's right.
I understand that. I'm telling you. But I'm saying to look back and to think about it now, to me is I couldn't do it to my children. I could not take iron cords and irons and just tearing them up with anything and throw. I just could not do that. It just made me feel like that's going too far.
What do you think about the punishment of today? How do you think that parents should really punish their children of today? What do you think they should do? Put them in timeout?
I think, timeout, I'm not sure about how well timeout works, but I believe that discipline, sometimes they may need that patty cake, that spanking.
Take the TV away?
I believe a punishment. I believe taking certain things away, but I also think teaching is a good tool of teaching how, to teach children when they're very young how to act. Now, we know we have some children that are off the chain and out of control. But I'm saying when you get a child that's extremely out of control, it's time to go get some help. But when you have the average child, they will listen, they get in trouble, children do. You can deal with them in a certain way. And like I said, if they're over the top, then go get some help. But when you start throwing irons at them, you need help too. When you start beating them with poles and cord, you need help too.
Well, here's what they used to say back in the days of old, when mom and daddy got you. They said, if I don't beat you, they gonna beat you downtown.
Well, that's fine. I said, Mr. E, I believe if parents are going too far, you should have seen one time I was on the track walking. And this man wanted his two children to run, and he was so-called teaching them. And he got so mad at them because they wasn't running like he did. He started punching in stomachs. He started punching them in the stomach. Why would you punch? He took the girl, he punches. I called the police. Oh, yes, I did. Because you're not going to sit here and punch a girl in the stomach and keep punching it and punching it in the stomach. And I'm going to sit there and watch it. I tell you what, I called the police. The police came and they fled. He ran. He got away.
They call that making them tough.
Okay, tough.
That's what they call
child
that
in the
tough.
stomach
They said
5-6 times.
Well,
that don't make sense to me.
Back in the days of old, that's what
that wasn't in
the
days of old. That was a few years ago.
Okay.
Days of old.
But see, discipline in the days of old and discipline today, because you got to remember there's a gap. The gap is they don't have wisdom like they had back in the days of old. I don't call that wisdom when parents would whip you. I call that abuse, because I got so many whippings, it won't funny. But if you can talk to your child, you got to get through that, and and so that they can understand what they've done is wrong.
Punching them in the stomach is too far in my book.
That's right. That's
and
abuse.
So how far is too far? We're going to keep talking about
abuse.
this subject on our After Dark show. We want to know your opinion, how you feel about things. Some people feel like, hey, a good old iron upside the head is a good or bad.
Not an iron,
Some people, I'm telling you, some people, because they have learned it or they feel like, their emotions out of control, they can do it. But I'm saying, now you have the law. Now the law is in it, and you can go ahead and start hitting and kicking on a child if you want to. You will end up just like that pastor in jail for overdoing it.
Do you think that since the law got involved with the chastisement or the spanking of children, and the children talking about, I'm gonna call Child Protective Service. Then when they tell you that they're gonna call Child Protective Service because they wouldn't listen to the instructions that you have given unto them, and then you got to continue to raise them. Now you become a prisoner in your own house. Sometimes you got to let them know that I'm the parent, you the child. Just like our caller said earlier, she said that she went out there to chastise her child, and a child chastised her.
You said the child jacked her up.
She said the child jacked her up instead of her intention was to go out there and jack the child up. She said when the child jacked her, then she had to go for what she knows.
She said they disciplined her.
They disciplined her because she jacked the child back up. See, sometimes you don't know. You go in there trying to be diplomatic and say, "Listen, son, I don't want you to do this anymore. You go to class and that'll be the ball game." My son would act up, and they would why call me? And sometimes I think that the teacher knew when you got a supporting family member, somebody that's got your back, they'll do it because they're trying to set an example to the other children. So when Isaiah would act up, when Devion would act up, and then things started changing, and when my granddaughter would act up, she knew the power of discipline.
Mr. E, I think the average, parent disciplines pretty decent and knows their child. But I'm saying they can cross the line and really do harm. Back in the day, that's what they knew and that's what they did. And hey, we did survive it now.
That's right.
But to me, looking back, it was excessive.
That's right.
It is what it is. Now you got to have the law coming in your house.
Now they'll take the TV from you. They'll take your Game Boy. They'll move all the furniture out of your room. I know a parent. She took all the furniture out of the room, out of the house, so the child was laying on a mattress, no bed springs, no nothing. The child was laying on. Now, guess who got to move that back in there?
Who?
You do.
Mm.
You got to put the dresser back in there. And my daddy said, take your clothes off because I'm not gonna beat my clothes.
I tell you what, we're gonna talk about that more on our Monday. You all make sure you follow us on social media on Monday at 6 p.m. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of things. We go a little bit more deeper, and some of your opinions may be, hey, off the chain. But we're going to be talking on Mondays at 6 p.m. FYI After Dark. In the meantime, we have some tea. Lord, we have some tea, and we got to give that tea real quick, though. Mr. E, we have found out that Lisa Marie Presley has died at the age of 54. Lord knows. The girl had a heart attack, but Lord knows that everybody is saying that she didn't look like she was well at all.
Miss Hinton, when I saw her last night, she looked like she was drugged up.
Ooh,
when I saw her on the globe, allegedly, but I'm talking about when I saw her.
Yeah.
She looked like she was just high
wasted.
Yeah.
She, her stamina wasn't good at all. She was like walking, and you knew something was wrong. Whether it was whatever, it took her down, and she is gone by the way of Sandusky.
Go to the main tea. Go to the main tea. Go to the main tea. Talk about your president.
Oh my goodness. We had high hopes, as a president to make sure he won't cut up. But I tell you what, President Biden, why is it that you have daggone secret documents? See, this is what I'm saying. You got to keep yourself clean. Why? Because you have the Republicans, you got Trump sitting back, watching every move that the Democrats make. They want to make sure that, hey, if you're going to throw some stones, we're going to throw them back at you. And here it is now under investigation for the same old crookdom And I'm not saying he is guilty of anything, but I'm just saying, you know, it looks bad when here you're accusing one side, and here it is in your own backyard.
That's right. And that's the whole thing in a nutshell. It's happening right in your own backyard that the president, I think that what they should have done when before the 4 years of Trump was over with and he knew that he was going to run for president, they should have did a thorough investigation of what he was doing now before he became president.
Well, I'm going to definitely follow that T. They also, Sanchez, they're trying to get rid of him, say he is a lying wonder, lying about everything. Who knows what he is?
And it was in the garage with the
all right, Biden, now we had high hopes for you, but we don't want to put you in a category. But Mr. E, let's talk about some local tea. The casino is not going to open up on time. Also, they found the allegedly $80,000 $1,000 worth of gift card. Somebody, I guess, put them back in there. Who knows where? We're going to find out more tea on that. Also, the lady, Miss Tanya, who was fired, she wants severance pay. She said she wasn't fired for no good reason. It's time to pay up. Now, we're going to have to follow that, find out if the girl going to get her coins. Because she said there's no reason in the whole wide world that she should be fired for what? And we want to know too, why was she fired? What did she do? And who brought all this on? You know, they had a lot of drama and stuff going on and the city council and stuff like that. They wanted to get rid of folk, and it was just a mess. And so we want to just, you know, keep our eyes on the casino. Are you all going to go out? Tell me in the chat, are you all going to go visit casino? And I'm not saying you gamble, but they're going to have all kind of entertainment, restaurants and things like that. A lot of stuff, a lot of attractions. You all check it out and see what's going to happen with the casino in Portsmouth. Also, let's see what's going on. You know, in entertainment news, we got Mariah Carey allegedly saying that she wants full custody of her children. Because guess what? He's dropping too many loads. He got too many babies out here. And I don't think, allegedly, I feel that she's thinking that he's not able to take care of the children like they should. Like he should. Mr. E, I'm thinking that is going to be a problem. And so we're going to watch you, Nick Cannon. Please take care of those youngins. You just can't keep slinging and think that you can just sling and walk away. These women, I'm telling you, when it comes to dollars and cents, if you don't do right, if that child don't get what that child got, and if this child don't get what this child got, it's going to be on like Tyrone.
Well, we got to get out of here. So the clock on the wall said we got to go. I want to thank you for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with our host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Everette, the co-host. And for more information, give us a call at 757-714-7861. Our inbox is at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com.
Okay, we're going to see you. Roberta said that's a lot of gift cards. The POTUS had them in the garage.
Yeah.
But anyway, God bless you. Look, don't forget to join us Monday and Monday evening. We'll see you back here. And be blessed. Have a wonderful weekend.
2 up, 2 down. Oh, by the way, don't forget the games coming on.
All right. God bless you. Bye-bye.